In our last segment, we calculated the price, or what we're willing to pay for a bond. Let me go back and change our required rate of return to something a little different. And you'll see that if my required rate of return goes up, the price of a bond went down. Oh, I added this other line. The price of the bond went down. I added a cell in here for the market price. Now, if we're willing to pay $934 and the market price is $955, we don't buy the bond. If the market price if our willingness to, or our required rate of return goes to 7%, this bond has a value to us of $1,071. If the market price is $955, then we should buy it. Right? It's cheaper than what it's worth to us. That's going to be an important thing to do when we analyze these things, and you'll probably see a problem like that on the exam. Okay, let me do that one more time. I compare the value of the stock, how much I'm willing to pay, relative to the price currently in the market. If the price is less than my value, I buy the bond. If it's more, like in this case, I don't buy the bond. Why would the market price be different than my price? Well, probably because the market, other people's required rate of return might be different than my rate of return. I might require 9%, other people might require 8%, so they're willing to pay more. All right. So here's how we calculate the price of the bond. Now let's calculate yield to maturity. Yield to maturity is a rate. So we'll use the rate function. This is the percent return that we will get if we hold this bond all the way out and get that last maturity payment in. So we'll use the rate function. Number of periods. Well, remember again, the maturity. But this gets paid twice a year. So we're going to do this times 2. The payment is the coupon rate times the par value, divided by 2 again. Just like if you look up here in when we did the price, right? I get those payments, but I get half of them each year. Present value. Now here's where things get a little tricky. When you do the rate function, something's got to be positive, something's got to be negative. So we've talked about payments in a positive way. So how much am I willing to pay for this? Would be a negative number. So I have to put in negative. And let's just say the market price. Let's see what the yield to maturity is on this bond. People are paying $955 for it. What's their yield to maturity? So, and we put in a negative because we pay that. The payment is positive because we get that. And the future value is going to be the par value. We get that again. So in this equation, let's take a look at it again. 20 periods. So it's maturity times 2 because I get paid twice a year. The payments are a positive number because I'm getting the money, but only half of the coupon rate times the par value because I get paid twice a year. Market price. This is how much, this is what I'd have to pay for it. This is what I'm trying to determine. Am I getting what kind of rate of return for $955? I'm putting that in as a negative number because I'm paying it. And then the par value is a positive number because I get that. And so if I pay $955 and I get this bond, I'm making 4% return. Sort of. Here's the, I don't know, I made a mistake. This doesn't look right. Why would this only be 4%? Here's where it's important to do the sanity check when you do these numbers, and I made this mistake. what I'm doing here is calculating the rate for a 6-month period. To get the whole year, I need to multiply this by 2. I need to take this number and multiply it by 2. See that, the rate I get? So that I'm really getting 9%. Very important to do that, and to do that sanity check. And I'm sort of glad I made that mistake so you could see it. Take a look at things when you're all done to make sure that it makes sense. Now, here's another problem I could have. Let's suppose I did this and I didn't put in market price negative. I just put in the market price. I get an error. When you see this kind of error, go looking for the positive and negatives. Can I make this a little smaller? I'll make this a little smaller so you can see it. There's the times 2. So I need to make this one negative so that it can do the calculation. Yield. The yield is going to be simply the interest payments divided by the price. So I take this. How much do I get paid each year? I get paid the coupon rate times par value. I get paid that. And I divide it by my market price. And that gives me 8% simple yield. Okay? Let's just take a look at that again. It's the coupon rate times the par value. That's the amount of interest I get each year divided by the market price. All right. Yield to maturity was longer. So these are the types of things that you will do typically. You will want to know the yield. That's an easy one, right? Yield to maturity can be difficult because you have these divide by 2s and multiply by 2s. And the same thing when looking at the evaluating the price or the value of a stock. I'm sorry, value of a bond. If the coupon happened to be 4 times a year, then everything would be divided by 4 or multiplied by 4. But that's very unusual. All right. I hope this helps you understand and do the bond calculations. They're all just examples of the annuities which we covered earlier.